Hello and welcome to the 20th episode of Carboot Tim. And to tell you the truth, actually, I wasn't actually even going to do Carboot today. I'd been on a load of early shifts and I was just like, I need a lay in. So today I sort of woke up around 7:30 naturally and I went, okay, let's do this. So yeah, I decided to go down to the car boot. And it's funny, so the second I got there, I literally see my friend coming the other way. And he literally looks at me and goes, Tim, you might as well not bothered. And I said, oh, do you know where my other friend is? And he's like, oh, he's over there somewhere. And then he literally comes out and says the exact same thing. Tim, you might as well not bothered. So yes, they were slightly right. There really wasn't a lot here. I think unfortunately due to the weather today, it was weird. It's not raining, but it looks like it was going to rain. Even they hadn't picked up anything good, and that was Luke as well, who literally you watch Vinegar Jar's video. That's the guy who picked up all that really good Game Boy stuff for like really good price, like the Game Boy Color. So yeah, watch Vinegar Jar's video if you've not seen that. So today, what I just sort of decided to do, as it was the 20th episode and I've just passed 1,000 subscribers, I thought what I would do is I had this story to tell for a while. So what I'm going to do is going to do the pickup first, and then I think I'm going to probably tell one of the most outrageous things that ever happened to me at a car boot sale. It's literally the time I was almost arrested at a car boot. But don't worry, you'll hear that story in a minute. I'm just literally going to open up my bag, and literally the pickups are so short today. Here we go. So the first thing we've got, and if you know me, this is the one thing I'm after, is Sticky Dutch, anything to do with eco. And yes, this is a different one from the one I picked up last time, because this is before eco released. Last one was after it was released, and it was sort of like a pack of, oh, these are the really good demos. These come with like the PlayStation magazines, and I presume it says world exclusive, so I presume this is like the first eco demo they put out. There's actually you go online, there is so many. Eco is such an amazing game, and there's like next to no merchandise with it. So any sort of slight little thing, I still need to pick up the really god awful American copy with the really awful like art, where there's like a really terrible rendered of him, and she looks like nothing like she's supposed to look like. It's one of the worst box arts. Like the European one and Japanese one is like this really beautiful piece like of art. It's a bit like out there, I will admit. Is I could kind of understand probably why they wanted to change it. It's just way worse than what they changed it to. So this was all from one guy. This guy gets up. He normally has the table of stuff, and it was all £1. So I just picked up all the pound stuff. So I also picked up Mirror's Edge. That was £1. Burnout on the PS2. Can't go on the Crid. I've got what was even in here. Killzone 2, and it even has like thing in it, but doesn't have the thing. Another one, I think the original Xbox version of Over the Garden Hedge. Over the Hedge. I don't know why I said Over the Garden Hedge. It's not making up my own titles for things here. So this is £6 altogether I paid. Smash, Super Smash Tennis. It just looked really interesting. It actually has the licenses to, I don't think there's any games now that has all the licenses to the Grand Slam. So I think it's just the Australian Open. Or that? Yeah, no, it's the Australian Open. It has all the licenses. Even though very out of date. Like trying to figure out who that lot's still playing. One of the Williams sisters, and I think that's about it. So Tim Henman, that shows you how old that is. And I didn't buy this from the same guy. This was another guy. He just had a load of random games. A lot of them had been out in the sun, and they'd been absolutely sun bleached. It's the only thing he had, and it was only £1. Warhawk. And I thought that looks interesting. For £1, PS3. Cannot go wrong. And literally the only other sort of thing I bought from was this guy. Luke showed it to me right at the start. He had a load of PS4 stuff and a load of DS stuff, but he wanted at least £10 on. I didn't even ask for any of the. He had some really nice PS4 stuff, and I understand people want to get their money worth, and that is the current console. So all his DS stuff was £3. So I was just a bit like, I don't want to go home empty handed, even though that is a bit pricey. And I saw a game I wanted in there. I love Worms so much, and I looked it up. It was only like a £5 game, but I paid £3. But it's okay because I just didn't want to go home empty handed. I wanted to at least have something to show to you guys. And the only sort of 3DS game he had left, I presume he had more earlier, was Murder on the Titanic. And I just love that random 3DS shit. So right, that is it for the pickups. So as this is the 20th episode, I am telling you the story about the time I was pretty much, or technically I've already was citizen arrested at a car boot sale. So this is my normal one. Normal one I go to, and it was last year, and it was the start of the season, and literally it was the first one back. And with me, I don't really do any of the others. Literally when this one starts is sort of when my car boot season starts. To tell you the truth, the one I do on Sunday I really didn't like doing until this year, because there literally was this one guy who'd go around and buy everything, and he'd always be in like the back of the truck and everything. It was so annoying. Like he just wasn't worth dealing with. But he's disappeared now, so that's the reason why I did my Sunday one. So it's the first one, and I'm just really excited. And this is when I had my friend Ivan, who I actually haven't seen for a while. So if you're out there watching this, Ivan, like, please come back. We do miss you. Hope you're well. But I remember he did actually come from quite far out, so he probably found somewhere a bit more local that was good for him. He also bought video games, so I ran into him and was having a good time. And Ivan had this guy who would always pick up stuff for him. I don't think he knew much about video games, but he'd always pick it up cheap, and all he ever do was literally only add £1 or £2 more to what he'd buy. Like, I remember him like picking up a PSP Go once. Finally, he was like selling it for him for a tenner, so he must like pick it up for £5. So he this guy just wanted a real quick like turnaround. He sort of said to him, "Oh, I got some stuff for you, like come over." And as is Ivan's guy, I sort of said, like, you go off, do your thing. So he wandered off with him. So there I'm on my Larry. I'm minding my own business, honest, like looking at a stall. And all the thing, I sort of feel myself being grabbed. And I'm like, okay, that's not good. Turn around, and there's a security guard in there. And he says to me, "Oi, mate, you knocked someone out. You're coming with me." Like, this is right in the middle of the car boot, right in the thingy of the thing. And I'm like, pardon me? What? It's like, yeah, you knocked, you got to come over here with me. That was like, kept saying, you got to come over here with me. You knocked a guy out over here. And now I think about it, I don't think I'd been where he was pointing for a really long time. So that should have been the first red thing. And I sort of said, no, it can't be. What do you mean? And I admit I have a bigger bag. I think that was kind of the sort of bag, I think. And I was like, oh my God, have I somehow accidentally, not maybe knocked out some poor old man? I sort of swinged around. But I thought, surely if I'd done that, I would have felt it, and I would have heard the gasps and the, someone walking into you is something you're going to feel. So I'm a bit like, I think it's just a part of me going, look, Tim, relax. These sort of things turn nasty is when someone accuses you of something, you go over and you sort it out, the witnesses. And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I know what's probably happened now is probably someone has punched someone and run off, and someone's like pointed in a direction, said him here, and when the security guard looked, that second that person was pointing, she or he was probably pointing in my direction. So the man had gotten confused. So it is okay. So now I am literally being manhandled over to this stall, and he's like, "I've got to come with me." And he's like, "Oh yeah, like you really shouldn't have punched this guy because he has a heart condition, and now I'm potentially getting done for manslaughter." And I'm like, oh my God, just please. And I'm praying he's not some like other video game buyer who just has a big grudge. And even I was a bit like, you're gonna set someone up. You're gonna set someone bigger up. Like Ivan at the time, he knew he always got more better stuff than me. I was a bit like, I guess they may have been trying to make an example of me or something. So I got over there, and and I was just like, at this point I was literally shitting myself. I was like, fuck, let's say I it's my identical twin, and someone literally thinks it's me. And he sort of gets over there, and the woman, like this poor guy, is laying out on the floor. He looked bad. Like he you know, I think he had a heart condition, so this poor guy had been knocked out, and now I've been done for manslaughter if he dies. I'm like sitting there hoping, please do not die, because if somehow they are going to put this on me, I'm getting done and going to jail. And then he sort of said, the security guard sort of goes like, oh, I got him. And the woman, like with him, looks up. She takes one look at me, and she's like, what the hell, man? That's not the guy. He looks nothing like him. And that second, the security guard probably knew how much shit he was in. And to tell you the truth, you know, he let go. Because he probably realised if I wanted to, I could probably have got him in quite a lot of trouble. And this is the annoying thing, because to tell you the truth, he could have, like, okay, I'll probably go more into explaining what he could have done. I think I'll do that at the end. So he let go, and literally, even the woman, like, who said, oh, I'm so sorry, mate. I'm like, really sorry. And the guy literally ran the car boot, came straight over, and he's like, I'm so sorry, mate, for this. I'm like, and then like the head of security eventually came over and sort of said, I'm sort of like with the guy, you know, like when you have a kid and you know that parent, you like, you know, to have the kid and the dad's told him off. You know this guy had been told off big time. And, you know, he sort of came over and was like, oh, someone has something to say to you. And he's like, I'm really sorry. And look, I understand, like, this was quite a serious incident. Like, luckily, I think the guy was okay. I did see him walking around later. Of course, an incident like that, most people are going to be like, oh my God, like, you're going to leg it. Like, if I had somehow knocked someone out, no offense, I'm not going to hang around at this car boot. And this is the funnier thing. My other friend of the time, Todd, was there. And the second he brought me over, he was like, oh no, I know that guy. He'd never do it. And he found it absolutely hilarious. And I was sort of like a bit timid, and I was like, oh God. And he's like, oh no, they would have never done you. No, don't worry, bro. And I was just a bit like, you do not realise how scary that was. Like, I literally thought I'd murdered a man by mistake, and literally I was going to jail for a moment. So yeah. I will say this, the staff were actually quite lovely to me, and even to the security guard. Okay, mate, I think I understand what these situations are like. If someone has knocked someone out, they're not exactly going to come in thinking you are probably going to have to use them. I generally just wish he'd said to me, you know, someone matching your description, like, look, mate, if it is you want to come over here to clear your name. He'd been a bit more like that. I would 100%, oh, but bro, I get this, you know, I don't get this all the time, but I 100% respect what you're saying, mate. You know, an instance happened and someone matching my description has been here. So to the reason why they actually arrested me, we actually later on saw the guy who it was. And that day, I think I was like wearing grey shorts, and this gentleman happened to be wearing grey shorts. So probably when the woman was giving the description, she said, oh, he was wearing grey shorts. I think whatever colour hoodie, like, I think it was like a black hoodie, or whatever colour hoodie. I happened to be wearing the exact same colour hoodie and the exact same. So the guy had literally gone around the car boot just looking for a guy with the same shorts and the same hoodie as you know, as this guy. So that literally all he was going on. And it was quite funny because literally this guy was way older than me. Like, he had black hair, but he was a good, you know, he was 40 plus and I'm way under 40 and a little bit bigger. And literally, even my friend was like, what are you talking about? That guy looks nothing like Tim. Why did they arrest him? And I sort of said, look, the woman must have given the description. And yeah, that was literally, so that was last year. That was literally the time I almost essentially got done for manslaughter at a car boot sale. Yeah, I do have other crazy stories. I think that is probably the most craziest one. Please, if you have a crazier one, I'd absolutely love to hear it. As this is the 20th episode and picking for Slim, I thought I had that story to tell. And I thought, hey guys, I just needed to tell that story. I generally, tell you the truth, I have no grudges against anyone. Tell you the truth, I'm happy there is security at my car boot. As I said, my Sunday one, there used to be a guy literally go into the cars and they literally be going, "Sir, please don't go into the car or we'll have to ask you nicely again." And yes, you know, the sense security, they actually do a good job. And yeah, maybe gonna be handle a bit better. But to tell you the truth, I can understand, like, literally, if someone has knocked someone out, they're normally not gonna come. They're not gonna come in peace. So, you know, no grudges against the security guards. Like, they're actually a really good lot. All the staff at this car boot are a really good lot. So you guys are watching, this is nowhere near in a dig review. I just find it more a comical story. Like, it's a really good car boot. Don't think it is one story. They're not they're not going to try arresting you all for manslaughter. So yeah, that was my story. As I was saying, a bit as a slow day. I will be back on Bank Holiday Monday for hopefully episode 21, unless it totally tips down the rain, because really the Sunday or as I said, it's not on tomorrow because they're doing Bank Holiday one instead. It really isn't worth it if it rains. Why this local one? This local one seems to at least somewhat be worth it. But I really hope you all enjoyed. Please give us a like, comment, dislike if you want. Please just tell us your craziest car boot stories. I love to hear them. And remember, everybody, Wakanda forever.